Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Today we're going to take a look at the resorts and beaches around Moalboal. There was a super typhoon came through in December 2021, and there's still some damage, as you can see. Um, my opinion, it is worth the trip. I'm going to take you up and down the beach, a couple different directions. There are actually a couple of beaches here in Moalboal area. And later I'll show you a map of the area where I've walked and some of the things. This relatively decent size. They've got a couple different locations. They are closed still. Not sure if they're waiting for more tourists, very possibly. Not sure if they're waiting for money to arrive to pay for repairs and such. Or what's going on exactly. Anyway, we are leaving from. There's a dive shop there, offering take you out sardine runs. They were not going out to Pescador Island yet, although there are dive shops. There were dive boats. I was able to see out there each day. Tricycles is one of the main ways of transportation here, although you can find taxis here. And there are more and more places that are open. With Cebu province being open, you don't need special requirements unless you're coming in perhaps from a different island. And then there could be some special requirements, and that could change weekly. So I'm not going to try to get into the details. This corner here is an area where all the tricycles sit. Tricycles, hobble drivers to transport you around. I was told about 150 is, if you want to go into town, this area, the town part is maybe a 10-minute, 6 to 10 minute ride from here, where the malls are and the stores and the public market. If you want to go in there, 150 seemed to be the going rate, about $3. For those of you who have been here before, just shows you they've got different types of these tricycles, different type of seating arrangements. Some are very small, some are larger. If you've been here before or not, this is kind of the main. It goes parallel to the beach. Panagsma Beach. Probably killed the spelling, is just to the right here, and you've got a number of beaches along here. Now there's been talk of widening this road for years, and I talked to one of the resort owners, Cora, from Cora's Resort, and she said, hey, they've been saying that for years, so we don't know if it's going to happen or not, but they are starting to enforce you've got to be back, I think, 3 meters from the high tide line. So she had cut back her resort, and it's coming up here, the green building up there, and you've got a couple of basically of public beaches. You've got little alleyways. Cora's Palm Court, and I stayed here once. I came down here with a couple Japanese girls and went scuba diving for a day. They went back to Cebu. You can see the roof all ripped off, and I was walking down here one evening and found her on site, and she rents out a space to park for 100 pesos, I think 24 hours. But talked to her, and she said she's waiting for her investor to decide how much and what they want to spend on the place. And as we go down here, you will see there are a number of hostels. I'm not going to be able to point out each and every one. There are restaurants. There's an Italian restaurant up here. I think this is it. There are, Italiano. There are resorts. There are dive shops and such. So you can find pretty much anything that you want. And I'll show you another resort I've stayed at in the past. And there again, the roof has been ripped off. So no staying there. Air conditioned in a special kind of way. Now this road, you can see how narrow it is. This road has no outlet out this other end. So traffic going in, vehicles, they've got to turn around and come back. and that creates a bit of a traffic jam at times. It took us a while to get to our resort because there was a section of another road that people were trying to push their way through with different vehicles, and they just don't fit. And another restaurant, I think they had rooms upstairs, maybe even long-term rooms. We ate at this place just up on the left, the French. They got a new name on it now. It used to be called the French Coffee House, I think. But anyway, I stayed here last time I was down here about maybe 7-8 months ago, and Saavedra, nice resort, right on the beach. We had a balcony area to the beach, and the website said rooms are not available, so we thought they were all booked up. Turns out there's another issue there, but you can see the sea out there, and you've got a bit of a beach area. There is a white sand beach further north, and I'll show you on a map later how this all lets out. But Scuba Academy, you can rent these floating things. Big popular thing to do here is the Sardine Runs. Not very far offshore are sardines, millions of them. I've done another video about it, I think a couple of years ago, 3 years ago maybe. And anyway, here's another structure that was taken down by Super Typhoon Odette, middle of December. The Chili Bar is open for those of you who are familiar with it. Walked by here later in the evening and would have gone in and had some drinks, but they cranked the music up uncomfortably loud for my ears. I'm a little more sensitive maybe than a lot of people. I talked to the lady, the kind of, I don't know if she was a manager or just the barmaid there working there, and she said she starts the music about 7 with a little lower volume and then cranks it up as the night goes on. Anyway, a couple other structures over here that are no more. And this structure too, I think they had a covering out there on the deck out by the sea, and a big sign, no structures allowed, period. It is rare that strong typhoons come through this area, and this Typhoon Odette, December 16th and 17th, oftentimes they lose their power once they hit land. They hit the eastern islands. They hit Samar and northern Mindanao, Bohol. But this thing, even over on this side, the west side of Cebu Island, did major damage. Took a long time to get electric, water back, all the basics. But there is, this was Easter weekend, very big holiday weekend, and normally you would have thousands and thousands of people here, and there you can rent masks and the life vests, floating vests, flippers to go out there if you want. Some friends that came along with us, they hired a dive guy to take them out, and because they didn't swim, so they went with this guy, and they were amazed at the sardines they were able to see, just not very far offshore at all. And if you're wearing that floating vest, you're pretty safe. You put a mask on with a snorkel so you can breathe. And there are quite a number of people selling trinkets, kids selling various things, and this is still damaged over 4 months after the typhoon. You would think, I would have repaired that very quickly, because it is had an older a friend of mine with me on not this day but the next day, I think, and he was having some trouble walking across that stuff. And there's some lady was hollering and in Bisaya, and somebody said, oh, she's mad at her brother. And she was just screaming on and on and on and on. Anyway, generally a peaceful area. You can see where the watercolor changes, becomes darker colored out there. That's where it gets deeper, and that's where you start to see the sardines generally. These bonka boats, outrigger boats, you can hire them. If you want to go scuba diving, snorkeling in different areas, lots of opportunity. I'll show you later. There's an area back the other direction where a lot of boats are wrecked. They got washed up and just thrown up on the bank. I'll show you that, and some of the people, some of the more of the Filipino side of the beach area, and some of the couple of big resorts down there. I'll show you those that are closed. I'm going to walk down here. There's a resort down at the end down here after we wander through some of these areas, and walk down to Polo Resort. Anyway, I didn't see any what they call tourist police. Now, tourist police, my understanding, they have to start off in the police force, and then eventually they can get, I don't know if it's a promotion or just a lateral move. But yeah, the road stopped back there a ways. You could see there was no vehicles going to be on quite a bit of this area. You might get a motorbike or a scooter trying to get in through these areas. But any cars, anything bigger than a scooter, would have had to turn around a long ways back there. But you've got the resorts and the beaches continue down this direction, and we eventually end up getting a tricycle. I met the owner of DeGecko Hotel, and I think an American that's staying there said, yeah, it was a really nice place. There are a number of places you can get on the beach, even if your hotel resort doesn't have beach access. There's public access. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, I've got over 1,000 videos, been taking videos since 2015. A lot of condominium real estate related. How much do they rent for? What do you get? What do they look like inside? Want to rent a motorbike? And check out my other videos. I've got playlist cost of living, other travel videos. I've taken a little bit of video in here from a previous visit. Not sure if I put that up yet. I'll see if I can find that and put that up at some point in time. Polo Beach Resort. Seemed like a nice place. Stopped and had some refreshments late one evening. If you'd be so kind as to give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down if you don't like this content. It all helps to promote the channel, and comments also do. I really appreciate everybody that comes by here and watches these videos. Going to move back to the other end of the beach, back the other direction, have a quick chat with some people I found on the beach. Hello.
Hello. We're here in Moalboal Beach.
Moalboal, yeah. Very nice water, like bath water, yeah.
Low people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you live close here? You live close?
Mm-hmm.
You all live close?
No, we live in Cebu City.
Oh, really? You come down for the couple days? Okay. Very good.
We don't. Yeah, thank you.
Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Many people bring a lot of food with them from wherever they're from, Cebu City. I came down with a group of friends and their friends. Lucky to get one of the last rooms that was available at home, because everybody travels on Easter holiday, and all are closed for a couple days. In fact, the 2 days where we wanted to, Thursday and Friday, we couldn't find any rooms available. So we had to switch it to Saturday, Sunday, and then beyond that, rooms available as well. This one, they're big resorts. This is a big resort here. Hello. And it is closed. They have a number of. Is this resort? Is the resort open or closed?
It's
Huh?
It's closed.
Closed?
Yes.
From typhoon damage?
Yes, yes.
Okay, what's the name of the resort?
I don't know. Ask her. Blue water.
Blue Water Resort, really? Okay.
This is the diving shop.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, big boat there.
Yes.
All right. Wow. Damage. Hello. Hey,
How are you?
good, good. Just walking, yeah. So interesting areas. You go down here. It's kind of at the end of the road by Sunset Beach. Just go. I guess it would be kind of northerly past Sunset Beach, and you keep going, and the road stops. You can't drive very much further. And then you come upon these couple big resorts, and take a look into one of them here shortly, and then you get all these fishing boats, banca boats, outrigger boats, different sizes. And a lot of people were displaced. They lost their houses, they lost their livelihood, the fishermen, and they're just getting by doing what they can. And I've asked a lot of taxi drivers, different people, how did you survive? Now this is closed. This was just right next door there, Allegria Dream Dive, and it is apparently still closed over 4 months after the typhoon. It was very likely closed for much of the last 2 years of travel lockdowns, economic lockdowns here in the Philippines and around the world. And here are a lot of some of the boats that just got tossed. Basically, the typhoon, the seas, the winds just tossed them up here, damaged. I suspect they got tossed up here. Now they could have gotten damaged. Perhaps they had them tied out in the water and they were damaged out there, banging against one another. And perhaps the people found a way to drag them up here. Not absolutely positive. But anyway, a lot of these people that come in, they bring their own food. And the group that I was with brought just a bunch of food. And we went to the public market. There again, about 150 peso ride, $3 US ride in a tricycle. We went to the public market. Bought a bunch of more food to eat for everybody. I said I'll show you a map a little bit later. Hello, how are you?
Fine.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Wow, so many broken boats.
Yeah.
Typhoon. Ah.
Big, small, broken.
Huh? Yeah. Wow. I think this was a Sunday I was down here, which in the Philippines is often a family day, so people go out and do things as groups, go to the beach, go wherever they go, do whatever they want. And even down here there was a little bit of a, I don't know what you call it, not a restaurant. They had a little food and they had a little drink for the thirsty people. And then heading back along the beach area here. Lots of locals down here and no tourists. Now under a normal situation, these beach resorts would be full of tourists and divers, snorkelers from around the world. But yeah, basically for the last 2 years. If you were in business, how would you survive for 2 years with virtually no income, but many of your expenses continuing? And it was an interesting walk. If I was by myself, I would have walked a lot further and explored a lot further. One thing when you travel, the more people you travel with, the more complicated it gets, the more compromises you make. I do well just by myself. I'm not a loner, but I do well exploring by myself. My partner doesn't swim. She's kind of afraid of the water. So I've got to compromise in those kind of areas. So I told her sometimes I'll travel by myself, sometimes we'll travel together. And if you add many other people in there, like we had gosh, I think we had about 12 or 13 people in this group that we all knew one another. Most of us did. And then you have other well, what are we going to eat? When are we going to eat? All that kind of stuff. But it was a good time. Good time. And Filipinos like to do things in groups, as families, as friends. Very, very common here. I'm going to show you a map of the area. Start with a zoomed out and then zoom into some specifics. And jumping over to Google Maps, I want to give you a little bit of an idea what's going on here. The map of not all the Philippines, but you got Mindanao down here. You have Luzon Island up here. You've got Samar Island, Leyte, Bohol, Cebu Island, which is where I live here in Cebu, and Moalboal's over here. You have Negros over here, Bacolod City. You've got Iloilo City over here on Panay Island. And anyway, December 16th and 17th, Super Typhoon Odette, international name Arai, just ripped through this area. And I'm not sure about the damage over here, but it did a huge amount of damage from the north part of Mindanao. Bohol, Leyte came across, kind of left the northern third or so of Cebu, didn't get hit, but I think the eye came through down just south of Cebu City a bit, and just did a ripped this place up really, really, really bad. Anyway, let's zoom into Moalboal. And by the way, this is about a 3-hour trip from Cebu City, coming down here, went down to Karkar, and over through Bareilly, and then down to Moalboal. And you can take buses, you can take a taxi, about 3,500 I think for a taxi. And anyway, we're at Moalboal over here. Moalboal, I never say that correctly. And you've got two main beaches here. You've got the white beach, which is more of a little bit of a white sand beach. Some people say it's not really white sand, but it's a nicer beach, put it that way. Gets a little bit rocky out once you get off the beach, so you're going to want to wear shorts out there. I've gone up there and visited there, not on this trip, and then you have Panagsama Beach down here, which is where I'm going to show you, and what's going on down here. And let me see here. We've got a number of resorts. I think we came in on this road right here. We came in on this road. We drove this road down here, and this is the video I did about nightlife in Moalboal Beach area was up in this area. You had the bars and resto bars up through here, and the major damage. You come down here. I stayed at a resort over here, Sunset Resort. Saavedra, I stayed, maybe 8 months ago here. I'll show you that. The roof has been ripped off of it. Very nice resort. And then we're going to walk down this way. And the road, you can see the road kind of ends down here. It's a very narrow road. And so traffic has to turn around. There's no way out of there. And that creates a bit of a traffic jam at times. Anyway, there's a walkway that continues down here. And we're going to walk all the way over towards Polo Beach, and still there are many other resorts down this way. And then I'm going to take you the second half of the video. I'm going to take you back this way. Sunset Beach was right in here, I think. Well, right in here, because this was almost right next to us. And then we're going to walk down this way. There's a walkway, and there's quite a few things. Let me see if it shows up here. Some of these other beaches, if I zoom in. They do not, so no one ever put the... Be careful with Google Maps and its place markers, because I don't know if anybody and everybody can put a place marker on there, but I have found place markers for airports out in the provinces where there aren't airports. I found here, even Cora's Resort, I found a place marker way in the wrong part of the beach area. So be careful with that. Not necessarily accurate. But anyway, gives you a little bit of an idea of the area. The town itself, where everything, the malls and market are, about, I don't know, 6, 8, 10-minute tricycle ride away. So if you don't want to go out of the area, bring stuff with you. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.